Hey, good morning from the office. Let me turn my music down here. I'm your host, BKP. It is Thursday, January 25th. I always wanted to do that. You know, you watch those, remember those shows when you're a kid? Oh, here we go. Let's play some Johnny Cash. Let's start out with some Johnny Cash. I Walk the Line, right? I like Johnny Cash. How about you? At 8 o'clock in the morning. Why not?
I keep a close watch on this heart.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't play drinking music at 8 a.m., but then again, some of you probably been up already drinking this morning. I'm sorry. I mean, it seems to be on a daily basis, I tend to spend a lot of time apologizing for playing drinking music at 8 a.m. I'm your host, BKP. Special called meeting in Blue Ridge City Council today. It's only January, folks. It's only January. We'll talk about that in a minute. What in the world? I guess they have to have a special called meeting. I do not know. We will go over the agenda later today around 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock this morning, I'd like to talk about Blue Ridge, the special called meeting, the city. So if you want to tune in at 9, we'll talk about that. Nothing earth-shattering. If you tune in at 9, let's talk about the parents, the school board responding, or not school board, the administration responds to parents' concern in Fannin County. We'll talk about that. Put up a picture of Dr. Gwatney. Do you have that ready? I sent it to... Wow, I tell you what, you do not realize here, folks, the test. I just sent that picture to see if Amanda could make it happen, and boom, there it is. Okay, so there's Dr. Gwatney, he's the superintendent of schools in Fannin County. We will go over a new article we have up last month, or at the last meeting at the Board of Education for Fannin County. Several parents are concerned with the athletic program. We have an update story on that we're going to cover at 9 o'clock. Let me ask you a question. Take that picture down. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's professional? Let me see. How do I say this? Listen to me figuring out how to say something pretty direct. Is it professional for one neighboring county to call another neighboring county clowns? I don't even know why I'm going to bring that up, but I am. One neighboring county calling another neighboring county clowns. Those clowns there. I don't know. I got a problem with that. You could have stated your business without referring to your neighboring county as clowns. And we have that. I don't know if we're going to get to play the video this morning, but we have that on video and also a comment on that. We're going to talk about that at 9 o'clock. That's local. One more local thing or state thing in Georgia. Rural Georgia. I love to say rural Georgia. Are you prepared to help pay for transportation around Metro Atlanta? What if the Georgia legislature said, we could just charge you another penny? Oh, God. Oh, a penny. Everybody just wants a penny. It's just a penny. What are you up to now? 7 cents tax? 8% tax? I mean, just a penny. That's all we're asking for, right? So it's almost like the state and counties and sometimes I know you're getting angry at me, but I'm in a careless mood, all right? But it's almost like they're standing on the street corner with a cup saying, sir, can you spare a penny? Just a penny. But nobody really pushes how many pennies make millions of dollars. But are you prepared if you were told we can get the is it QE2 or HQ2 headquarters, Amazon's headquarters, and we can import about 50,000 lefties from the left coast, right? If we could do that, that would, out of those, would probably vote 75% Democrat. Would you be prepared in rural Georgia to help pay for that? I don't know. I don't know. Boy, I'm just walking and stepping right into it all over the place. Transportation, it's a big deal. You know, we all like to go to Atlanta. A lot of us work. A lot of people work in Atlanta. Atlanta is, you know, a metropolitan city, one of the largest cities in the United States. Let's talk about that a little later. I don't know what all I'm up to. But by the way, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Only live online morning show. Our phone number here is 706-889-9700. That's the way you can get in touch with the show, or chief@fetchernews.com. Chief@fetchernews.com, and at FetcherNews at FYNTV. We have Karla's Korner at 8:30. She will be here at 8:30. Today is Thursday, right? I've asked that a couple times, right? It's Thursday. Today is Thursday. Now, Saturday, we're going to be out at Clear Creek Middle School all day long. Tune in to FYNTV. I love it. The annual Gilmer County Park and Recreation Basketball, Youth Basketball Tournament Saturday. Be out there. Start dribbling that ball at 9 o'clock, okay? And that ball doesn't stop dribbling until about 9 o'clock at night. And it only takes to about 11 o'clock before I have to find, you know, something for the headache of the basketball. But I love watching the kids play. But that is going to be live on FYNTV.com. What all do we have going on? Now, I know this is not the top story for many of you. It's not for many of you. And I understand that. And I'm okay it's not the top story. And you're waiting for me to talk about Trump said he would talk to Mueller under oath. You're waiting for that. You're cringing. You're cringing because there's reports that out of the 5 months of missing emails or text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page that they're starting to be recovered. You are waiting to hear that. I mean, you are waiting for all of this breaking news this morning that's happening all around the world, all around our state and local area. But yet, I open with something for one reason only. And that reason is, I love the overnight. Now, what does the media yell? Bipartisan. Now, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question here. Because this is kindly my proof to say, folks, don't fall for what they feed you on a daily basis. Okay? The mind control of what the media is trying to feed you on a daily basis. Now, I know for a fact, I've got to be careful because I just said for a fact, you could have people fact check me. I know for a fact that there's all of, around the Capitol, the White House, everywhere, there's all of these TV mini studios set up for senators to run to get in front of a camera, for congressmen to run and get in front of a camera, okay? Set up all day long. And they run out there and they give you, the American people, what they want you to talk about, to know they want to talk about. So they do that every day. Now I'm going somewhere with this, okay? And then the media frames it up. They frame it up. Now, I know you want to say, well, DACA, Donald Trump said there may be a deal for about a 10 to 12 year pathway to citizenship. I know you want to talk about Amnesty Don. You're hearing Amnesty Don overnight, okay? I know that. I know that. But what do they run up to C-SPAN when they're on the floor? You realize when they're on the floor, nobody's in the chamber. They just talk to the camera, okay? And they run up and you hear a bipartisan bill and you hear a government shutdown. Can we get Democrats to vote for it? Why would you vote bipartisan? I mean, the media just, they get all warm inside when there should be a bipartisan effort. Now, the reason I say this, do you remember the drama around Trump's cabinet picks? Do you remember the drama around their confirmation hearings? Do you remember the televised hearings? The questions? Why, God, we have to remember all of those, right? Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. But how many news channels this morning are reporting? How many of you watch sound bites of a Democrat grilling this guy? A Democrat saying, if you are confirmed, what will you do concerning prescription drugs? If you are confirmed, how hard will you work to dismantle Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act? If you are confirmed. Put up a picture of Tom Price. It seems like it was just yesterday that this guy, all right, Tom Price, all right, the former HHS secretary. Now, you do remember we started this year out in January. Seems like it was just about now. Inauguration is over. Trump has taken the oath of office. He's in the Oval Office. He's already tearing down regulations. Sean Spicer's at the podium swearing it's the biggest audience that has ever witnessed an inauguration in 800 years, all the above. We went through all that. It seems like about this time last year. But then there was the HHS secretary. Now, here's what I want to do for opening up, and I know this is the last thing. Amnesty, DACA, all you want to hear is that, okay? The memo. Donald Trump, did he ask acting FBI Director McCabe to vote for him? Oh my God, it's over and over and over. But here on the far right, that would be my right. No, the left, my far left. I can't tell. Amanda, help me out if I need it. Okay, here on my far left would be a guy named Tom Price, former HHS secretary. So, you know, Tom flies first class a couple times. About $1 million worth of first class. And next thing you know, boom, he's got to go. Now, you stop and think, folks. You need to listen to this side. Okay? This is the side, because everything the media brings you here, you're leaving this alone. And this is under the surface, okay? Now, every Republican member of the House of Representatives won re-election and campaigned on repealing Obamacare. That was their promise to you, right? Every sitting Republican senator won election campaigning to repeal Obamacare. I'm going somewhere with this. Okay? Now, stay with me. You're not listening, folks. All right? I'm going to separate some things. You see, there may have been a couple, but the strength behind the Republican wave and taking over the House of Representatives and being elected was repealing Obamacare, not building a wall on the southern border. No, that's not how they got it. That wasn't the promise they made to get into office. Okay, they may have run on immigration, but the big thing was repealing Obamacare. Senators may have run on immigration, but the big thing was Obamacare. Donald Trump, #1 issue, border security, our southern border security, right? Stay with it. Stay with it, right? One election. Repeal Obamacare. Now they go in, and the Republicans can't get it done. They can't keep their promise. You have scandal after scandal. From Hillary Clinton to Uma Abedin to the Wiener to, I mean, the list goes on. From Comey, we have memos. We have leaked information. We have a Russian dossier. We have everything under the sun but $1 million. Okay? $1 million worth of travel vouchers. All right? Tom Price thought he was just cashing in. You know, he thought he got that like for a gift certificate for Christmas or something, $1 million worth of travel vouchers, right? It's gone. He's got to go. Now, remember, on the stage that day, and you guys know I like the President of the United States, all right? Yes, he's over in Davos telling everybody America first, all the above. But on that stage right there, the reason I picked that picture is that's the Boy Scouts of America, the Jamboree, okay? And the last time I, saw a Boy Scouts Jamboree, it was on the Flintstones. So here is the Boy Scout Jamboree there in West Virginia. Donald Trump's up there giving a political speech that the media freaked out over for 10 days. But over here is Tom Price. At this time, he's the HHS secretary, right? And he says, he's got to repeal, he's got to get the votes, or he's got to go. You're fired. Oh, I'm just joking. Let me tell you something. Tom Price is no longer there. Now put up this guy, Alex Azar. Nobody talks about Obamacare anymore. Nobody talks about repealing it, because how much of this country does healthcare control? How many people in this country are controlled? And that's the big word here I want you to take away. Controlled by healthcare today. How many news outlets are telling you this morning that the Senate, okay, approved Alex Azar as the new HHS secretary in the middle of the night? Just a procedural vote. How many are telling you that? See, it was a big deal when Tom Price was getting grilled. Where was the Durbin when we needed him then? Where was Chucky Schumer's speech on why the Republicans would put this guy up? I mean, you would think the Republicans that want, and President Trump, you would think the ones that promised you to repeal Obamacare, all right, would have been out there saying, this is our guy. Nothing. Crickets. Crickets. You see, Obamacare is written, and that's the reason I'm going with this. I'm going with something that nobody's talking about that I'm aware of. Obamacare is written, 9 million pages, but every second page or every 12th paragraph, and I'm just using that for an example on Obamacare, says refer to HHS secretary. You see, Tom Price could have basically, just under the authorities of Obamacare, started to dismantle it immediately. Kathleen Sebelius, the HHS secretary, at the time it was passed, was one of the most powerful people in America because the HHS secretary held so much power. It's in Obamacare. The Department of Health and Human Services, HHS Secretary, new boss, Alex Azar, after nearly 4 months without a permanent leader. The Senate confirmed Azar, a former pharmaceutical executive. Let's see, Eli Lilly? Maybe Eli Lilly. He came from Eli Lilly. Executive there, might be from Indiana. We'll see. The Senate confirmed Azar, a former pharmaceutical executive, on Wednesday by a 55-43 vote, with 6 Democrats and independent Senator Angus King from Maine joining all but 1 Republican to support the nominee. Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky, was the lone Republican to vote against his confirmation after previously expressing concerns over Azar's resistance to let drugs be imported from overseas. See, Azar's resistance to let drugs be imported from overseas. Why? He's a former pharmaceutical executive with Eli Lilly from Indiana. Okay? Azar's replacement, Tom Price, who resigned in September after Politico detailed repeated trips he took on a private military costing $1 million. $1 million. You know what? We paid $1 million to watch shrimp on a treadmill, and this guy had to get fired? Democrats attacked Azar over drug prices. Where was that attack? Saying the cost of several drugs more than doubled during his time at Eli Lilly. The Democrats say the prices doubled during his time at Eli Lilly and expressed concerns that he would continue what they view as Trump administration attempts to sabotage Obamacare. Where was the outcry? Where is Morning Joe? Where is CNN? Where is the debates on the floor? Did I miss them? Send me a text. Tell me I missed it. Meanwhile, Republicans cast Azar's nearly 10-year tenure at Eli Lilly, where he served as president of Lilly USA from 2012 to 2017. Now wait for it, as an asset because he already knows the ins and outs of such complex industry. Why does he know the ins and outs of such a complex industry? Folks, I want you to look this guy up. And I want you to see what role he played in the George W. Bush. Okay, no. I know. I am so sorry for you out there that every time George W. Bush comes up, you refer to the ranch and his picture with a cowboy hat. He may be a nice guy, but I'm going to tell you what, he was as deep state and he was no conservative in my book. He blew the debt up just like the rest of them, okay? But where I'm getting at, this guy here, you do the research. See if he was not there. A former pharmaceutical executive, Eli Lilly, located in Indiana. Now, I'm not drawing a conclusion. I'm not going to be Ron Johnson here and say, oh, I don't know, Indiana, Eli Lilly, Mike Pence is from Indiana. You just, you never know. You don't know. Just say it. It's a coincidence. You ever hear the coincidence? Guess who lives down the road? Well, maybe they just figured out this guy lives right down the road. Pharmaceutical executive Eli Lilly from Indiana, Obamacare new HHS secretary. He got to the George W. Bush White House in time to implement the Prescription Modernization Bill. Look it up. Don't trust me. Go for yourself. This guy on the screen, you remember that modernization of Medicare prescription plan that there's absolutely was no money for, that absolutely just helped blow up the debt to George W. Bush? See if this guy, prescription medicine, pharmaceutical, Eli Lilly, see if that guy helped implement that, which benefited, pharmaceutical companies, obviously. See this guy's timeline. George W. Bush, modernization of Medicare prescription drug plan that we had no money for. Okay, check that out. Goes to Eli Lilly after it's in place. After this prescription plan that we have no money to pay for is in place, he becomes the executive over there. Have I said it enough? Of pharmaceutical. And guess what? He opposes foreign pharmaceuticals that we could drive the prices down for who? Our seniors. I'm going to close with this because we got to go to Karla's Corner. Do you know anybody out there? Do you have an elderly friend that might be in the 80s? Because I do. One or two. You have an elderly friend that tells you that somewhere around the 20th of the month, after they pay for their medication and pay their bills, they don't have any money left? HHS secretary, bipartisan. You'd think they would be gushing over this bipartisan choice that even Democrats voted for at HHS secretary. Don't forget, folks, healthcare, how much they control. Now, we're going to go to break. We come back. It's going to be time for Karla's Corner. I'm your host, BKP. At 9 o'clock, we're going to talk about Blue Ridge for about 20 minutes. I mean, the Fannin County area for about 20 minutes. And then after that, yes, folks, I promise. Did you get the memo? Did you get the memo? You got the picture here? I want to know if you got the memo. Did you get the memo? You get the memo? Amanda, did you get the memo? Could you see it? Could you show the picture on the memo? Oh my God, McFly, I didn't send you the memo? You didn't get the damn memo? Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Where's the memo? You didn't get the memo? There it is. You got the memo. I asked you if you got the memo 12 times. Oh, my God. Take us a break. Karla's Corner right after this, folks.